Hey everyone. Right now you should have this page in front of you. This says 5-6, solve two operation inequalities. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and put your name, class, and date up here. Today during this lesson we'll be learning how to rewrite and solve two operation inequalities. And during the lesson I want you to think about how solving two operation inequalities is similar or different to solving two operation equations. You're going to see a lot of the same steps being followed. So I want you to look for those similarities and so those differences. Right now what I want you to do is I want you to watch the two other videos that I've linked to your Google Classroom page. So I don't want you to do this page right now unless you've watched those two other videos. So if you haven't watched those two other videos, just hit the pause button on this video, watch the two other videos that are linked, and then come back and continue this video and I'll help you fill out the worksheet. So right now we're going to do pause and we're going to watch the two virtual nerd videos. Alright, so go ahead and hit pause and then come back here after the two videos. Alright, so the reason I had you watch those two videos first is so that you would have some knowledge and some kind of experience practicing and solving inequalities already before we started the packet. Up in the do now, just a real quick reminder that when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip or switch or change the inequality symbol. I'm going to do the first 4 problems with you probably, and then you'll have to do the last couple of ones on your own. If we look here at number 1, I'm going to make a couple changes first. I'm going to go and change the subtraction sign to be addition, and I'm going to make the fraction a negative number. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite it so that the variable term is first. Alright, so that's all I did is I just moved the negative 9 over 2x to the front, and then I wrote plus negative 10. When you take 9 and divide by 2 on the calculator, you get negative 4.5. So I recommend that you change the fraction into a decimal. And at this point, if you are a flowchart person or a balancer, go ahead and do one of those two things. I'll show you what the flowchart's going to look like for this example. So just be careful here at this step. So we're adding a negative 10 going to the 80, and when we go backwards we're subtracting a negative 10. But remember that subtracting a negative is just like adding a positive. So 80 plus 10 is 90. Now we do 90 divided by 4.5, and again you can use a calculator for that. Just remember that your answer is going to be negative because we have a positive divided by a negative. So when you're done, you should get the answer of negative 20. When we write our answer, we say x, and then because we divided by a negative number, we need to switch this inequality symbol. So that's the solution. This symbol means we have an open dot at negative 20, and then we shade in everything that's greater. Remember too that you can always pause the video or go backwards if there's something I did up here that was too fast or you wanted to check it out again. So you should never watch the video and then not be sure before you go on to the next example. So follow this problem again if you weren't totally sure what I did at every single step. If you didn't get negative 20, or if you forgot to change the symbol, or if you weren't sure how to complete the number line, go back and rewind and watch this part of the video again. Same thing with the next example. If there's any part that goes too fast or you didn't hear me correctly, just go backwards just a few seconds and you'll watch it again, and do that whenever you need more time. For this example, just like in the other one, I'm going to go and change the subtraction to be addition, and then I'm going to change the fraction to be a negative number. So when I rewrite the problem, I have the negative 1/2 x plus 5 is greater than 30. I'm going to write 1/2 as the decimal 5/10 x. I did the flow chart in the first example, so if you're someone who builds a flow chart, go ahead and do that. I'm going to show you what the balancing method looks like. And now we're going to divide by negative 5/10 on both sides. So we have 25 divided by negative 1/2. So we're really saying how many times a half goes into 25. So it goes in 50 times. It would be a negative 50 because we have a positive divided by a negative. And then because we divided by a negative number, this symbol has to be flipped. So we have an open dot at negative 50, and we shade in everything that's less than that. Again, I know I said this before, but if this went too fast, or if you want to check something out again, just hit the rewind button, go back a handful of seconds, and watch this until it makes sense. So I'm going to do examples 3 and 4 with you, and then there are 2 more examples on the next page that you will do by yourself, and then you'll show the teacher when they are done. So, looking at number 3. Hamish has $25.97 in his pocket to spend at the craft store. He wants to buy a paint canvas and some paint pens. How many paint pens P can Hamish buy? And if you look over here, you'll see that the canvas is $14 and each pen is $3.15. So when we write the inequality, it's $3.15 times the number of pens he buys, plus the $14 for the canvas. And then we have to think about the amount of money that he spends. Can that be more than $25.97? It can't in this case because that's all the money he has. So we want to use a less than symbol. And he could spend all of the money, so we're going to say less than or equal to. I'm going to do a flow chart here, but if you're a balancer, do the balancing. Just like always, if I did something too fast or if you're not following me, just hit the pause button. Alright, so we added 14 to get here, we subtract 14, that's $11.97, and now we divide that by 3.15. I'm just going to put my phone down to use the calculator, but you're going to type in 11.97 divided by 3.15. Alright, so what I got on my calculators, it said 3.8. And so the question is, does he have enough for 4 pens? Or can he only buy 3 pens? And so he only has enough to buy 3 pens. He doesn't have enough to round up to 4. So we would say that he could buy 3 pens. Alright, so we will put a solid dot here at 3, and then he could buy 2, 1, or 0 pens if he really wanted to. And in this example, it says members of the Science Club are selling coupon booklets for $17.95 as a fundraiser. They hope to exceed the amount of money they raised last year. How many more coupon booklets B must the club members sell to achieve their goal? And over here it says that this is where they are so far. This is last year's goal. And it says that they want to exceed last year's goal. So the booklets are $17.95 each. So $17.95 times the number of booklets plus what they've already made. And now, when it says that they want to exceed the amount that they made last year, that means that they want to have they want to be greater than that amount. We don't want the greater than or equal to, because they want to exceed it. So they want to be greater than that. So if you're a balancing person or a flowcharter, go ahead and solve. So we have 1795 times B is greater than 159.60. We divide by 1795. And I think it is 8 or 9. Alright, so if they sell 8 of them, they won't have made enough money, so they do need to sell a 9th one. So they need to sell 9 booklets. Alright, so what you're going to do now is you're going to flip the page over. You are going to answer this question and answer this question. And you're going to show the teacher your finished work, and then you can start your homework.